Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Got it. Zoom, I got it. We're starting. We drove home last night in the night. We got home at like 1 a.m. I was so glad Andy was willing to drive. My Audible account helped. We're on chapter 19 or chapter 22 of Dune, the first Dune.
Is that there's so
That's
many
a
distractions. Like Kyle, your dog just walked behind you.
Right.
I have
Are
to
we at
tell
the
you,
top? Should I change? I have to change my thing to we're both.
no, what?
I'm just moving screens around on Zoom just so that I can see your face.
Okay, as
I
you were
want to.
starting, your
Kyle steps away. Perfect.
highly compelling Dune story. My son walked in with he walked to Popeyes, and I love the biscuits.
Ooh.
So he walked in and left a biscuit on my brand new comedy notebook. So that was what was distracting me, and I was like, "Is he gonna shut the door or let flies in?" So also turning to my mom.
So you were.
So wait, so you were in Santa Cruz? Sorry.
Yes, I was, and we went up to Andy's mom's, and then we took the dog, and then because I asked DNA if the hotel took dogs.
Was that the same place I stayed at with Charlie?
Maybe. Is it does it look like a Soviet block from the outside, but it's kind of cool on the inside?
I don't know. It's cool on the inside. If the rooms face outdoors, they don't have the interior hallways.
Right, but they all have sort of a little sitting area that's kind of half
Yes.
off by.
And there's a pool and an eating area that's closed, although it might be open now.
It was open now. We didn't go to it. I instead yelped a coffee shop and got a breakfast burrito to split.
Sure.
At a place called the Firefly. The Firefly. Ladies and gentlemen, go to the Firefly. Mention Jackie and Laurie. It was good, but the outside of it looks like it's an episode of Rockford Files, and so
great show.
There's a lot of fat, tired youth to middle-aged men folk.
Yeah.
Like literally 10 to 40 doing wheelies on their fat, tired bikes as they flip around. It's very Santa Cruz. I was like,
sure.
I think all of these houses are $3 million. You can't be, it's real hard for me to think of you as against the man. You are the man.
If their families bought in the 60s, they can live forever like that. You know what I mean? Like
right.
It used to be a real, just tiny little crunchy town nestled away in the hills. It's a pain in the ass to get to no matter what. And now it's just it's an extension of Los Gatos, which is an extension of San Jose. So it's getting tech money and all that kind of.
Right. It's all literally. Andy was like, "Is that the same Tesla we saw?" And I said, "No, there's a blue one, a black one, and a gray one all surrounding us in a wolf pack. We're surrounded by Teslas." And my nephew, speaking of techie, he drove down he lives in the Mission, and him and his wife drove down, and we had lunch with them, and they came to the show. The show was at 4:00 in the afternoon in the outdoors.
Oh, neat! Yesterday, then, obviously.
Yeah. Yesterday at a playground. I was like, this is what I've been looking for, performing next to a jungle gym, where a young mom allowed her child to bounce around while there was some adult comedy going on while the toddler was swinging on that jungle gym.
You know what? She's probably so grateful she can't even speak.
Just to hear something adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Surrounded by this little thing that's sucking.
And there were probably like 50 people there.
That's cool. Hold on. Does my mic sound better now, or I moved it over?
Oh yes, that's definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was an improvement. Yes.
I saw there's a drone shot on Instagram, which
I know.
Pretty cool looking.
I think one of the comics, a guy named Butch. I can't tell. I don't think it was during the show. I think it was during the setup for the show, and it was pretty cool. Maybe I can use that for the intro for my special.
Why don't you just take random drone footage of anything special so you can
just pipe it up? Yes. And the original editor guy.
Yeah.
sent me a copy anyway of something. And a 5-paragraph lorem ipsum. But it was pretty bad. It was pretty. I couldn't watch it. I mean, it was pretty bad to receive it. I'm sure the version was fine because he's good at his job. It's just the moment has passed. The window is closed.
Sure. No
I
need
can't
to
do
work
it.
on it anymore. Yeah.
Nope, wrap it up, buddy. And super nice guy. I just can't face it. So
Yeah, I understand. In fact, I emailed Ryan because he edited 45 jokes based on that's like my first positive interaction with this comedian named Jackie Cation, who I didn't know very well. I just knew you a little bit. Was like you gave me Ryan's name and saved my special.
Right, and Ryan stuck the landing. He did a great job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just cut up and put out on TikTok and Instagram or whatever, what have you, throw it up on YouTube so people can watch it. And I don't have a clean copy of it. I have like a CISO copy. So it's got
it's got all that interstitially stuff.
No, parts of it fall out. So it's just audio. And then there's like this, it's like a version of Getty Images going, this content is, it's like, oh, all right.
All right, Ken Burns. Thanks.
Yeah.
Scan and scan. Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a clean copy of this. You'd think I would be more on top of this shit, but I'm not. This is minus the commentary by Conan and Patton and Amy Kindler. Like I'll just, I don't have to put those guys up.
No, you're just looking for the clips of the stand-up. Yeah. When I get the hard drive back, I'll have 5 shows, right?
Yeah.
And 4 cameras, so it won't be. But there is a shot that isn't going to make the special, that isn't going to make the hour video, which was Thursday night first show that I recorded. I had a Wednesday rehearsal.
Yeah.
Essentially run through, but the Thursday had a they/them couple in the front row.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I saw that'd be a good clip. I did my idea of cloud work is you're great. That's not hilarious. There's going to be a hard road.
The audience might demand more listening at home. Yeah.
Yes. So it's not going to make the special. It's not just me going, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are both they/thems, or what? I mean, it was literally like Aunt Jackie losing her tiny lizard mind.
But what is the plural of two theys? Is that our language is not prepared for what people. It doesn't have what people need. Right, the English language.
Right, and it always changes. Yeah.
So we need a word that a they that applies to a singular person. Because it is confusing when you're reading something, because then you go, oh, this is the gender pronoun. It's not the amount of people. It's really weird that those are the only words we have available. And so we need some new words. We need some additional words, and we need another term for two theys. Well, I guess it's them, right? But them is also them as a singular as well. So what I'm saying is we need more words.
Just keep going. This
and
is great. I have my coffee. Yeah.
The inventor of the word Bananus, back in the early 90s, before it was stolen by one comic at least, and memed. Maybe I'll work on it. Right. Bananus being that little brown spot at the bottom, the banana's anus, the Bananus. I was just thinking about that because I was like, I need to reclaim that joke, but maybe tell the story about how someone almost took it and I accidentally caught them because they just happened to be at a club while they were working on a set. And they immediately dropped it, which was also like, well, if you wrote it, you don't immediately drop it. You don't go, all right, hands up, I surrender. You know what I mean?
Right.
But maybe there's a story there so that I can do that joke and put it on an album and actually because I never put it on an album, because when I moved to New York, I decided to be hard and edgy. And I'm like, this is a ridiculous joke.
This is a
silly,
I'm
cool
silly
now.
Joke.
I'm trying to hang with the cool guy.
Right. You wanted to be more of a hard ass, and talking about the brown spot at the bottom of a banana didn't feel like it was compelling enough to get you in with the Jim Nortons of the world.
Exactly.
I get you. It was like if you had fucked the brown spot at the bottom of the banana, then it would have mattered.
Sure.
Then he would have him and Colin would have both been like, tell me more. Let's hear this tale. But I think that there's yeah, what the heck? Talk about bananas. What do I know?
What do
I
I
didn't get to
care?
I didn't even get to do anything new material. I went to the vault. I I tightened up several bits that are now going to be on an album. And
Yes.
so feel free to
That-
come see me. Feel free to come see me if you want to
That's
see
the
those bits tight.
Oh, that's when it starts to happen. When you start getting the timing on a joke after you
Yeah.
put it on an album forever. Oh my
There it
God, I
is.
hate this. I hate this life.
Fantastic. I'm
You,
about to
you
have
guys,
8 shows in Las Vegas starting tonight, the
I wish.
Monday.
Oh, neat. What time do you fly out?
Tomorrow, Monday, the day this comes out, at
Oh.
like 1 o'clock, out of Burbank, actually. Ooh.
So Burbank to Vegas. That's like it's not. It's 24 hours.
Right. Well, and then so Burbank to Vegas, and then Vegas, crack ass of dawn to Albany, New York.
Oh my God, that is not 24 hours. That's probably once every other day.
And then I was looking at next week where I'm doing Limestone. I'm opening the Limestone Comedy Festival in Bloomington, Indiana on the Thursday night, and then I'm flying to Alameda.
Wow, that's a rough week of travel.
Yeah, that's gonna be brutal. But I changed a bunch of flights, and I'm gonna go in a. Yeah, I'm just going in a day early to Bloomington.
That's good.
Just because then I'll be able to sleep it out, and then I was gonna leave at 5:30 in the morning on that Friday to get to Oakland by 9 a.m. to a hotel that I could not check into till 3 p.m.
Oh my
So hey, dum dum,
God.
why don't you change that flight to get there at 3:30, and then
Yeah,
you won't have a lot of chill time before the first night,
true.
but at least you will have slept it out a little bit that morning and not had to freak the heck out.
So what time is your flight to Alameda or to Oakland? Are you flying into Oakland?
I'm flying into Oakland to go to Alameda. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Is that the right
Yeah.
thing to do? Okay. And because I'm like, because the Bay Area is so big that I'm like, and this week I was in San Jose, or I'm in
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, and now I'm going to be at the top, right?
Yes.
Alameda's at the top, and then I'm opening for Maria at the Improv at San Jose.
I
That's back at the bottom.
I don't like these hand movements describing my home area.
This is how Jackie does maps. Hello and welcome to
Here, the center of the
Map
world is Walnut Creek / Pleasant Hill, and then I don't know why you're moving things.
You remind me of one of my very best friends, and weirdly enough, you're also one of my very best friends. But here's the thing: you remind me of my friend Ann True, who used to tell me all about Worcester, Massachusetts, and how cool it was. And then I went to province. Then I worked in Massachusetts one summer, and I was like, "Have you ever been to Worcester? My friend's from Worcester." Laughs every single time, open laughter, just because
Why?
Worcester is because it's kind of the joke town of Massachusetts.
Is
It is the
that
Bakersfield.
Okay. Oh, is it the one? Is that the one that's spelled Worcester or Worcester?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And it has like 11 colleges. I mean, there's no. That's how cool Massachusetts is.
Yes.
Even the shitty town has 11 universities. Or
I
whatever.
will say Walnut Creek is pretty cut and dried in terms of spelling. It's your classic Walnut spelling, your classic Creek spelling.
Nobody calls it Walnut Creek.
No. You will one day, I'm sure.
Sure. Well, it's because if God dang it, I've spaced his name. Who had the bowling alley? Not the bowling alley, the pool hall. Who had the pool hall up there?
Greg Asdorian.
Yeah,
yes.
The Armenian guy. Yeah. So
you forgot the Armenian guy's last name.
All I remembered was Armenian guy. And speaking of Armenian guys, my dad had another commission. He genuinely hates portraits. But one of my my really good friend Jenny Bergman was like, "Would he paint my 2 pugs?" And I was like, "He doesn't like dogs. He doesn't like portraits. You know what he does like? $100. So let's ask him, and it'll keep him in the house for another Delta variant week." And
sure.
So he painted the pugs, and it was actually a terrible picture of these two dogs because they look like two croissants just sitting on top of each other and on a field of green next to a ladder. And my dad did the field of green beautifully and the ladder beautifully, and the two pugs not bad. Andy had this to say: "This is an excellent rendition of this terrible photograph."
It's a great cover of a bad song.
Yeah. So I'm gonna print hard copies of the CD.
Okay, that's cool.
But I'm only gonna do a couple hundred of them, I think, because I have storage issues.
Yeah,
And,
a couple hundred is still a lot. I mean,
well, it's only 2 boxes. It's just because they come in 25 sleeves. Sleeves are 25.
okay,
So it's 8 sleeves. It's not really
right.
It's less space than our notebooks are.
It's not a jewel case, right? It's like a
No. Oh
that's
my God.
good.
Yeah, that's the good news. But here's something. Speaking of our notebooks, everyone should order them. Who doesn't need a new comedy notebook?
That's true. In fact, I just started a new comedy notebook, but it wasn't one of ours because I didn't want to have to pay you $10 to start a comedy.
Who did you pay somebody else to? Did you get a moleskin? What'd you get? It's
I
nice
saw it was
sky
a
blue.
moleskin. This one has those little dots in the back. No, this one's completely blank. And I like to get them at the local bookstore. I think I got this in Portland when I was there because I saw the pages were waning, the blank pages were waning in my purple notebook, and I knew the time was coming for a new one.
I use so much scratch paper that my notebooks will last like 3 years. It's really weird. It's so interesting. Notebook talk. Hello and welcome to Notebook Talk. But everyone uses notebooks so differently.
Oh, and yesterday I was at, actually it is to me, I was at the West Side and Megan Gailey was there and she has like this little tiny, I'm going to say 4 inches by 3 inches. I didn't comment on it. I just saw it and was like, wow, that is
she had like a little pocket one. She had a pocket
it's
one.
A little bit, here's the thing, it's a little bigger than a pocket one. And but it wasn't like those loop one, like some of the psycho male comics have those little, like they literally are pocket ones and they have the spiral top and they're all paper and cardboard. So they fall apart to me, they fall apart in days or one rainstorm, right?
You know what Bamford uses? She uses the Walgreens, just a regular notebook like you took to school.
Yeah, I mean, those are big though. Like those are paper size, right? 8 by 11.
They're big, but they fall apart. Like they're also
they do.
She goes through them like, and she'll have like 3 or 4 started, and she's like, I think I lost that one, and I'm like, what? And she's like, that's fine. Her whole thing is like, if it's meant to be, she'll remember the joke, and I'm like, oh, would that it were so.
Oh my God, no! I have found jokes that in just looking through old notebooks that have saved bits because I was like, something you tried once and then you forgot about it. You listen to the set and you default to the regular version of a joke, and you forgot that you fixed it because the audience kind of sucked or something.
What just happened there? Bam! Well, audience. So the audience was really nice in Santa Cruz this weekend. What else? Oh, and I also did West Side. We did West Side together before.
That was fun. Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
I like how long the set was. It was a nice 15-minute chunk.
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't have a set last night and Chris Gorbus DM'd me at like 6:30, had a fallout. You want to come out? So I ran out there. Yes, and here's the thing, like I have 3 different chunks that each one has a new tag that involves a woman's name, but for different reasons. Right. Like one is a callback, one is a pun, and one is it's that the parking accident. I figured out a new way into the parking act thing.
Oh, good.
With that Amy Nicole. And it now involves crowd work, which is my favorite thing, right? I have like it's a little foray into the audience. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I'll go back to these jokes. If it does work, I'm going to hang out and play with that one. So I don't know. Because of the type of tags, they were all slotted in the same part of my head. And so I was on stage going, is this one, which one is this one? And I felt a little robotic. So I was just trying to remember because I wanted to work on all 3 of them.
Right. When you want to work on all 3 and they all have something in common, but they're different, of course.
But yeah, they have something in common and nothing in common. Yes.
Right. I'm jealous of your foray into the audience. Perhaps I'll try that. Not this week, but one day maybe I'll try a foray into the audience. See if I want to.
Well, yeah, if it's just sort of like a thing that the audience can have in common with the joke that you're about to tell or the bit that you're about to tell, then it all kind of wraps in okay, you know? And if
Yeah.
there's nothing there, you just go to your joke and they don't even notice it. But if there's something there, then maybe the audience member will say something that you can actually wrap into the actual joke, and they'll think you're way smarter than you actually are.
Right. I weeded off in the middle of that. I'm so glad you told that story. But I have a real question for you.
Yes.
Darla is, my sister, is renting a sort of a B&B or something for 2 weeks in New York in January. With
In New
2
York
bedrooms
City?
in New York City. She's like, for 2 weeks. And she's like, do you want to go to New York at all? And I was like, yes, Rockefeller, I would love
Sure.
to go
Yeah.
to New York. And I was thinking, what if we tried to book the Bell House
Oh,
in one of those?
sure.
Yeah, because people we know do the Bell House. We're people. We could do the Bell House.
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Right?
A live
Right?
podcast, a show and a live pod.
Yeah, we don't even have to do a live pod.
Yeah.
We just
do the yeah, that is a lot of extra work. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Just
can
show up and do stand up.
we just show up and do stand up, and then
I
we,
like that.
yeah, we could do extra stuff for Patreon or Max Fun or some damn thing.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
but that would, then we might make some money. We might
What-
make a couple of bucks or something.
Right.
Nice.
What dates? Do you know the dates yet?
I think it's the first 2 weeks, or something like the first 2 weeks of January.
Interesting.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Well, I'll probably be going to New York the Christmas week, or like between Christmas and New Year's, just to work stuff out. And then I'm working at Burlington, which is just north a little bit. So I'll be in prime shape for my New Year's Eve shows. But then I can either come back to New York and do the Bell House, or go fly back another time.
Like the 5th through the 19th.
Interesting. Well, let's see what they have available, if they have anything.
Right. I don't know. I wonder if that would be my guy or your guy. And
okay.
To ask them, or we could just ask them, because we could probably find their information. And
that seems like a good idea. What part of town does she already rent it?
Yeah, it's in the financial district.
Of course.
Right.
Of course, Darla's going to stay in your money. Of course she is.
Well, just in case you needed to talk to somebody about their and
that sounds good. I was so depressed this weekend about being a comedian in LA. I was so depressed. And because one of the clubs that works me a lot, isn't open yet. I don't know if they're going to reopen. And then I there was stuff with other clubs where I'm like, am I ever going to get back in with this club? And is this club ever an option? And it felt like doors shut. No, and yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I don't know. I was like, if I didn't have a son, if I was childless right now, right? Yeah. I would just leave. I'd be like, look, I had a great job here, and now I'm out of here. I'm going to go to London, and because I don't want
London.
Why not?
Yeah,
well, my plan is to go to Europe after my son graduates, right?
Yeah, you're going to Luxembourg.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to start a comedy scene. I want to jump into one that's already been started. I don't want to do all that work. I'm not a promoter. Okay. That's not me. I'll just want to jump in and do less work. Just tell jokes. Right. Yeah. So that's my plan for in real life. But, part of me is like, well, I might not, I'm unemployed right now. I don't have a writing job anymore. Right. And I don't know if I'll ever get another one. I would love it. I would like it.
Are you doing packets? Are you doing
I will as soon as I hear one that's open.
Right. Yeah. I was like, I don't know how that works.
I'm not doing unsolicited packets, but yeah, I'll do whatever I need to do,
Right.
But I don't know if I'll get hired. Maybe my time is done, and there's so many good joke writers out there now. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's like the competition is fucking fierce, So I don't know. Maybe I always knew when I was at Conan, I was like, I'm so lucky. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you
And
did.
so I never took it for granted.
Right.
But I still, oh, I'm bummed. And I don't know if I'll have another job. And then if that's the case, then what am I doing? I mean, I have some road work lined up. I think I'm going to be at Acme in December. We haven't finalized the date, but I also can't be on the road a lot because I have a teenager, and I know everyone thinks teenagers are like, oh, you're done. But actually, Felicia Michaels told me, and I believe this, she said, these are actually the hardest years and the most important ones to be around in, or at least I think that's what I heard.
Yeah.
But this is when they can weed off into some weird places if you're not home, you know?
Right.
So I don't know.
Welcome.
And he started school this week. They're in person at the moment. They've already had COVID outbreaks, but not in where he was. So I guess they're just telling people in their sections, like if you were in this particular English class, you may have been exposed. My son's vaccinated. So, hopefully the vaccine will work as it's been working for a lot of people. But
Andy read a thing that we're all supposed to get booster shots at 6 months.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm in it. I'm not going, believe me, I'm not going to Austin without a booster shot.
Right. And I
will be fully armed.
I think I'm due any minute now here because I think it was April.
Mine was.
Oh, no. So.
Mine was, my first one was late January. And then I got one in February. So yeah, I'm going to look into that this week. But up the last 4 years before my mom died, she's always been here at the house 24/7, right?
Yep.
And then my kid, there's like no place there, every place is occupied, right? And even now the garage is always occupied. It's like, but he went to school this week and I was, I'm up at 6:30 now, getting him ready for school and making breakfast and stuff. And then I have a whole day, in my house with nothing to do. I mean, there's plenty
to reinvent yourself. You have to.
Oh yeah.
You have to figure out what you used to do, and what you want to do now. But right now, there's just a big gaping. What the hell? I
don't even know. Part of me is like, oh, this is a great opportunity. Like you look at Marin. This is like, and I'm not in the place he was in.
I'm not looking at Marin. What's Marin? What's Marin?
No, the example of when he started WTF was. He was like just divorced. He was in a really low place, which I'm not in a low place, but emotionally he's like, fuck it, I'll try this thing. And it changed everything. Right. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's always, there's opportunity all the time. Anytime you want to make opportunity for yourself, I guess. But part of me is, like, who am I? Like, I've just been working since 99, having a day job and doing stand-up, because I couldn't afford to live in New York on road feature money.
Right. Wow.
So when I moved to New York, I'm like, I'm planting myself
here.
here.
To live in Lincoln on road feature money,
no,
unless you live with your parents.
I lived with my parents before that. That was my day job. I lived with my parents, right? And so now I can afford to hang out for a little bit, not forever. And kind of see what's up. But, I also, there's other writers, Conan writers that are like, they're working on specs and I'm like, I just like writing jokes. Can I?
Okay. So you don't want to go into a writer's room to write whatever, the new Law and Order or some fucking thing.
Yeah, I would.
Or a sitcom. Oh,
I would. But the idea that I now have to immediately pivot and write a new spec, like I've written specs before, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't have any clear goals, and I miss it isn't a common ability to be able to sit in front of a Word doc and just churn out jokes. Like I can do that.
Right.
Does anyone need it?
Well, I think
Oh
they
my
all do.
God.
I mean, you could work for your arch enemy. You could work for you could work for any of the other big name
Comedians, you
movies.
mean?
No, just the late night guys, right?
Oh, my arch enemies are comedians.
Right, but
Are comedians that get spots that I don't get. Those are my arch enemies. Let's be clear, Jackie.
I'm just saying you wouldn't want to work for that guy, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I can work for any guy. I don't
You'll
mind.
work for that guy? You
Yes.
don't mind it? All right.
But it's not, it's but it's only, there's no, I haven't heard of any job openings, but there's always job openings, they come up and stuff. But I'm just saying, like,
You're just in your head. You're in your head, and you don't know what to do next, and you don't know how to do the thing next because you haven't had to do anything next except for you've been treading water for 22 years,
well,
I
actually
the
don't look
next
at myself as
indicated.
treading water.
Well, but that's how you described it just now. You're like, I've just been doing this and this and this and this and just doing the next indicated thing and grinding it out and grinding it out and grinding it out. And you're doing stand up, you're living with your parents, but then you're like, I gotta have a day job, And so you're.
Well, I don't think that's treading water. I think or the next
You've been-
indicated thing. It was like, oh, I want to try to get that thing, so I want.
If you don't like my analogies, that's
I
fine.
don't.
But just for the record.
I don't like any of your water analogies, for the record.
Noted. I'm just saying, welcome to my life. I spend all of my time looking for a way to make another $1,100,
Mm-hmm.
and that is my entire experience for 37 years, which I don't. I was trying to be sympathetic. I'm over. Now I'm just trying to one up you.
No one believed it anyway. It felt unnatural.
Oh, that's because I deal with it better than you. What just happened there? And but it was like I want. Yeah, I mean, there's it's a change. It's a very drastic change in your life, and
Mhm.
yet some of your life has to stay the same because you have you got a dude, you got a kid, you got to finish raising.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind all this if I didn't have a child to raise and provide health
Sure,
insurance
you
for
would.
and all that.
I'm sorry.
No,
I've
I
known you
wouldn't.
For 5 years, you would complain about it differently, but you would also be freaked out.
I'd be complaining about it in a British fucking accent, Jackie. I'd be pretty excited. Like, I remember when I moved to New York, I was like, that's it. I'm changing everything. I'm not going to be on the road anymore. I'm going to plant myself in New York. It was so exciting.
Sure.
I want that excitement again. I'll fucking, move to London, Dublin, find some English speaking comedy scene. Amsterdam. I don't know. Just
You don't
want to
just let your son's dad just do the last 5 years?
That would not be good for my son.
Right. It would be a weird experience.
Mm-hmm. I know you don't need me, but my son needs me.
I actually need you more because this is my second credit. So let's do a break. Let's do the largest of all breaks. All right, and let's do comic of the week.
Okay.
Very cool. What the hell did I do with her? It's comic of the week. I just worked with her in Santa Cruz. She's a Bay Area comic. I said to you, she's doing Tommy T's, and you said that is a Bay Area comic.
That's a Bay Area comic. You got to do Tommy T's in whatever incarnation. I mean, Tommy T's has been around since I started. I told you I was on a date with Larry Bubbles Brown, and he was featuring at Tommy T's in San Leandro, which was it's so San Leandro, and you need to know San Leandro to understand what I'm saying. But it could have existed no place else. And Durst was headlining, and he was like, I was new to comedy. I was so nervous even being near a comedy club, and Will Durst was laying across 6 empty chairs. It was like a Tuesday or something, and I thought asleep or unconscious. And then the host brought him up and he sort of rose up from the chairs and walked up on stage. And I'm like, how I couldn't understand how anyone could be that relaxed before. But then you work Tommy T's a couple times, you're like, you know what? I don't need to get riled up for this show. I can lay down and enjoy myself and then get up when my name is announced.
And let me tell you, let's get back to the comic of the week. This has been a nice ad for Tommy T's. It's great though, because I never got to work it, and I was kind of mad about it. And then the more I hear about it, I'm like, nope, still want to work it.
Well,
Anyway,
before you go off,
yeah.
people keep licensing Tommy T's. I think like there was one.
Is Tommy gone?
He's still around, but it I shouldn't say this, but I think it was like a name that that sounded good when you're coming to comedy from another business. You're like, oh yeah, oh Tommy T's, I've heard of that. Let me license that name. But like within comedy, it was like, oh, like you could just open your own club and you don't have to pay for. But you know what? God bless Tommy T's. They're still in business. They're still someplace, and our comic of the week is working there.
Right. Well, I saw that she had been there or will be there again, but I worked with her in Santa Cruz for DNA at the comedy festival, the Santa Cruz Comedy Festival. Her name is Chelsea Bearce, is what you should know. And Chelsea is spelt like Chelsea, Chelsa, and Bearce is spelt like bear, C-E, so Bearce. And she was freaking hilarious. She was performing next to a jungle gym as well. And she was just doing 10 in front of me, and you could tell that she had a lot more time, and that it was super smart, and it was dark and funny, and I was like, oh yeah, I like her. She's very funny. So Chelsea Bearce, and I think it's at Chelsea Bearce on Twitter, right?
Go to chelseabearce.com/Jackie Laurie for 30% off.
No, you have to pay 30% more for Chelsea Bearce because she's got the Jackie and Laurie bump. You guys, she made me laugh, and I was pretty psyched about it.
Oh, the money goes way up.
The money goes at least 30% of $150, you guys. Okay, here's my question about now to move on, the naming of comedy clubs.
Right.
It's always, they have to sort of prove that they're a good club in spite of their names. Almost entirely.
They give themselves an obstacle right off the bat. Right. Most of the time.
How many times has someone said to you, well, do you do improv? You're at the Improv. Well, I don't do improv, and I am at the Improv.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so to name something improvisation when you're doing something that is clearly written is a weird thing. That's a crazy idea.
I mean, I don't know. The Improv is it's like 40 years old at least.
It's so old. Right. Yeah, it's older than that even. And like the Acme too. I mean, if you were to say to yourself, Acme, you mean like it's supposed to be funny like Wile E. Coyote? And you're like, nope, yes, but that's not.
I think at first, did Lewis name it or did he?
Yeah, Lewis named it. Yeah. Because
he didn't grow up watching Wile E. Coyote, did he?
Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the Warner Brothers cartoons are global.
Sure.
And but I will say, because he came, the club owner that he worked with before, who had that series, was Scott Hansen, and he had comedy galleries, which implies a certain amount of class, right? And which is
going to be paid in oils.
It does feel like I mean, it feels like it's aspirational at least, right? And the Laugh Factory, that's where I am this week. I'm going to be churning out jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nonstop. It's a union shop, and it's 24/7 laugh. Well, Laughs in Seattle was Giggles, and they're like, you know what? We're upgrading our comics. And we guarantee full laughs now, and not just giggles.
Right. And the Giggles was for Bananus, and now Laughs.
How dare you? It's first of all, it's Bananus.
It is Bananus. Bananus. It's as close as I could to remember it. And I'm waiting for like a club to be called Winnie the Pooh's, or something like some sort of weird
Right.
dumb poop joke or
Oh, I see.
yeah, like I just you never know.
Yeah, like helium doesn't make sense to me as a comedy club name, but it seems to be
Squeaky
working.
voice. It seems to be working out, but yeah, I don't know. Like the comedy when it's just usually named like the Comedy Cellar, right? Comedy on State
Yes.
or Comedy Showcase.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, that makes
another.
sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rooster T. Feathers,
Now
cock a
listen,
doodle
Bruce,
doo.
listen, that was a music venue. It started at as a music venue, and they
Named
started doing
Rooster.
comedy like on Tuesday nights, like when comedy started getting popular in the late 70s. They have their old calendars up.
So wait, so Rooster T. Feathers was the name of it before it was a club, a comedy
Yeah,
club.
it was a
Okay, so it was a
music venue.
music club. Okay.
So now, why they would call a music venue Rooster Teeth Feathers? That's not my. I can't answer that. I'm not a musician.
I do love that Heather has as the when you call in, she's like, "Hey, cock-a-doodle doo,"
You can do it.
because she's into it. It's awesome. Yeah,
You can
I think
do
it's
it.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, their old calendars are pretty epic. Like, it's like the Grateful Dead on the weekend and then Dana Carvey the next Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. And then Charlie Goodnights, I don't know the story behind Charlie Goodnights.
I feel like it got transferred too. It's the one that exists is a different Charlie Goodnights because it was that good.
Yes,
Right.
I worked the original one with Tim Wilson, and that was one of the most fun weeks of my life. That guy was so funny.
But I do like when they just take the name of the town, like Cap City Comedy Club was a good name.
Yeah.
Vermont Comedy Club,
Yes.
Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, I guess, and then I think I just like Comedy Works. I don't know because it does. And
Yeah.
then
I don't work there, but yeah, a lot of
punchline. There's especially punchlines.
Comedy doesn't work, Laurie Kilmartin, but you know what? It works for that. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, David, have you done Fort Collins yet?
No.
Oh, you should totally do that. That one's.
Oh yeah, I should, Jackie. Okay, great. Thank you.
David, just fucking email Laurie and get her.
Oh, does he listen to our podcast?
Yeah, he's listening.
Oh, okay.
David Rodriguez, very funny comic. Actually, I think it wasn't the first time I met him. It was the first time I met him that I remembered him.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you got to see someone's longer set.
Oh, right.
That's how I tend to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was he featured for me in Bloomington, and I think I remembered him before that, but I think that was when it really solidified. He got a slot, right? Like now I can picture him, I can remember his act, I know all the things about him, and now he owns a comedy club, which is another reason to remember him. So, because I am nothing if not focused on getting some. Let's take a Max Fun break.
Okay.
So where are you working this week?
Well, first of all, my check from Laughs somehow, I just threw it in my purse because since COVID, I haven't carried a wallet, right? I mean, no one takes cash anymore. Why have this thing that weighs a pound and is full of change or whatever? So I just keep a credit card and my driver's license in my iPhone, right? In the little container, my iPhone container, whatever it's called. Okay. So I just threw my check in my purse, and then something in my purse spilled, and now my check is oily. So I'm trying to dry it out. That's my project this weekend is to pat it down. Yeah, or I just have to. I'll mail it back to them, and they can send me a new one, so we don't have to do the old.
Well, do you do a mobile deposit, or do you actually bring it in?
I do a mobile, so I have fooled the apps before with denigrated checks. Yes.
Yeah.
But that means because it's spotty, so either I have to put oil all over the whole check and just change the color of it and hope it, you know what I mean? Because now it looks like
just try, and if they reject it, you'll know immediately. So I constantly, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a gazelle. And so I'm constantly dropping shit, and I'm constantly spilling things, and it's another reason why I shouldn't own a gun. Anyway, so the thing is I just take a picture of it and live in hope. And I would say 99% of the time. It's one time I had to walk it in. And
Okay.
I handed it to them. I was like, I spilled some stuff on it. And they looked at it. They're like, ew, all right.
All right. I'll try it.
Because they got
Um,
routing numbers. They got all the information. But yeah, that's too
Yeah.
bad though.
But Flappers is now paying with direct deposit, which is nice. You're not getting these little tiny, little weeknight checks. It's like it goes right, the 30 or whatever, it goes right into the old bank account. Have you signed up with that yet?
I signed up for it. I've only had one gig where they paid me via electrically. Other than
Okay.
that, I've just been picking up sets and stuff.
Yeah.
I picked up a set the other night there for their comedy festival.
Oh
And
yeah.
That was super fun because Shannon Paul, previous comic of the week, Minneapolis comic, Miss
Mhm.
Shannon, and she was in town from Minneapolis, and yeah, and she had a great set. But I just went down after our West Side Comedy set to watch her, and Josh threw me up. I got to do a 5, and I was pretty psyched. I felt powerful. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Fuck yeah, Jackie, wield it.
I get to strong arm my way onto a Yoo-Hoo set for 5 minutes, and I will take that all the way to the knot bank. It turns
Yeah.
out, but I will totally be psyched that I got to do it. So,
Crap. I thought of something and then I forgot about it. Well, there you go. Dang it,
well,
Jackie.
yeah.
My new bra. I went from an F cup.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had to let them settle. You
You
can't
let your
buy the
boobs
bra
settle.
immediately because they're still swollen and all that stuff. I am now a C cup.
I am slightly jealous.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
amazing.
like to go away for a weekend and have someone make me eat salads for about 6 months, and then come back and fucking wow everybody. Or I'd like to grow the fuck up and stop eating everything in front of me. One of those two things would be great. So,
I
'cause I keep eating a lot of things, is what I
I've
guess I'm
decided not to, focus on the food. Look, I have this amazing biscuit waiting for me as soon as going right into my mouth.
It
I'm
is
so
such
excited.
a hockey puck. That is
I
so
love it. Is
beautiful.
not. It's a
Beautiful.
Popeye's biscuit. They're the best biscuits in the world.
Well, that's
Although
lovely,
this one
except
is
for
in the
that.
cart. It has been an hour, but
Right, it has been an hour, but it's perfectly shaped I mean, it's beautifully cut. It's perfect.
delicious.
As I backpedal, because I can't insult I can say it's gross. It's just been sitting out.
You can
here
insult my career, but not my Popeye's biscuit.
not a Popeye's biscuit that your son brought to you because he thought of you.
He
And then
did.
it's-
Well, no,
it's
it came with his meal and he doesn't like it. We didn't.
I like the idea that he thought of you. Did you order 7 more copies of Golden Kamuy? The next 7.
You send me the link. I don't know what I'm ordering. Just send me a link
Okay,
and I'll buy it. Okay.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me things to purchase now that I have no income or zero income.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take it out of your pension.
I'm not taking that. Where'd you go? Stop rolling away. That wasn't a good one.
It was a good one. It's.
I'm not taking it. I'm waiting till I just have to survive till I'm 62 and then it all comes in.
All right. All right. Well, yeah. So just are you talking to the other? There's a fly in here. Are you talking to the other writers about what they're all writing specs? Are anybody? Yeah, I think if you just started, yeah, I think you could find another late night writing job and get to churn out just for another. What would it be? 6 years? 5 or 6 years?
Whatever. I would love. I like to. It turns out, it's like you when your life is so structured, you're thinking, I can't wait till it's unstructured, and then it gets unstructured, and I don't know what to do. I can't exist happily in either realm. So I'd rather just have some structure. If I'm going to be unhappy, I'd rather have at least be producing stuff that makes me feel good. I mean, it is fun to write jokes and then see them told on TV that night. That's really fun. Even sketches take longer. Sketches are hard to write. It's not my thing. And everything else is like, it takes a season long.
Yeah, it takes a while. Yeah.
I like.
You could write. What about? Would you want? I sound like somebody's mom. Why don't you drop your had shot over at NBC, Jackie. Anyway, well, because I would like it if you wrote for Sam B. Full Frontal.
I would love to write for Sam B. That would be
What,
awesome.
what a fun
I
gig
feel like
that would be.
our politics align. I could really, it would
And
be really,
she gets super dark, and you would.
she does get dark, and it would be fun to write for a overtly feminist female voice. That would be really fun.
Yeah, which I
Because-
don't think you've done much of that.
No,
right?
I mean, late night isn't necessarily a great place for, abortion jokes.
But she has done so many.
Yeah, but
abortion jokes.
but she has made a space, and that's my favorite thing to write.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, but any show you can find some like simpatico with it, and right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
yeah.
know.
It's like any crowd you're in front of. You figure out how to talk to them.
Yeah,
and
it's
how-
like,
how
who
to
are
tell
these
jokes.
people? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let's.
All right.
I can bend
can
this
write to
way or
that.
that way or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, what are we talking about here, Kyle? I feel like we're real close.
We're 55,
Oh,
The
I
thing.
would have thought closer.
right?
I'm sorry. It's such a painful conversation to have with me. I'm fully engaged right now.
You are.
It's just the ad
This
reading.
is the first. This is an episode that you are fully engaged. You are like on. You are on task with the different. Because I have supposedly on Tuesday they will set a date for my new album. Supposedly on I am to get the final edits for the first. I have sent out sort of 5-minute clips of a 5-minute chunk essentially to a couple of different people to look at for to pass on to see if anybody wants to buy it.
Right.
And have heard nothing, of course, because it's been a minute and I need to calm down, or I will hear nothing. But I will have tried, and that's important. And so
I mean, I was told that Netflix now wants to do them in-house, and they don't. They're not buying.
well,
That's what I was told, but
well,
it could have been bullshit.
it's always the same. And someone was telling me that who was it? Was it Chelsea? Was it Peretti? It might have been shot an hour with in-house stuff, sent it to Netflix to see if they wanted to shoot it again, to do their version of it.
Interesting.
And so I was like, well, I could do this. Hell, God knows I could do this hour again because some of those jokes are currently slightly tighter. And
Wait, I'm holding. Can you see this?
yeah.
If our albums come out, it's similar time frames. Because I picked a picture now. I picked a cover.
Yeah.
Maybe we could go on a little tour together.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. People would love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. I wonder if so that you've is your audio done?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the audio's done.
It was done 2 years ago. I just hadn't. Yeah.
But you released it to them. You said
I said I want no more, and I never want to hear this again. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, and now you have the art. Well, I had the art before I recorded, and now I'm working on the back art. So
Right. But I'm saying, like,
you should tell them, because they meet every Tuesday to talk about release dates.
Okay. Whatever
we
they
could release it
decide,
probably.
it
Yeah.
seems like there'll be similar time frames, and maybe November we can do it like a maybe Friday, Saturday, someplace. You know what I mean? And just
Bell House. We could do it.
yes, do that in January. We could, do it for a couple months.
Yeah, I'm on board. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be really fun. And I don't know what it will all mean, but I'm in favor of it doing. And then so that's those two things. And then I'm going to talk to them about, I own the masters on my first 4 albums.
Mhm.
So I may just but I have to make sure that they're not playing any of my last 3 albums on Sirius XM, because I get 100%. And if they're playing anything on Sirius XM, I'm getting 100% of that. But to my knowledge,
Oh, great.
they are not. and Sirius XM is nuts. The money's great, you know.
Well, plus when 800-pound will put your stuff everywhere. I mean, that's a lot of what you pay for is their distribution.
Mhm.
And that will build a new market for Jackie-cation. And now you have the other things that are 100% yours. I would think that's going to increase the income for the.
Well, if we did a best of album where they took all the clean stuff
Oh,
from the first 4 albums, and then just released it exclusively to Sirius XM
oh my God.
for a month or something, it should work really well.
Oh my
And then
God.
because they're already playing the heck out of the rest of my albums on Pandora and Spotify. It's fine. So that's the income there. But
Wow.
you know, the difference between that a month and that on Sirius.
Whoa. Wait, that's what you're making now?
Yeah, that's what I'm making now.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's a headline week, right?
That's amazing. That's not what I'm making.
Well, you don't have 5 albums out.
No, and
so
the one of them is all about death. So true.
it's very hard to
Mhm.
turn that into. I wish Kyle.
Yeah.
Did
We
my
just passed it as you said, Kyle.
did my son leave your screen door open, Jackie?
Yes, he did. I'm leaving now.
Okay.